the team as much as possible as well.
Wow, that is great. We're going to take a break right here. We're going to come right back to the Color Outside the Box podcast with your hostess, Princess Miller, and more from Miss Kristi July. Stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? Trey here to tell you about one of the best gym experiences in Mobile, Embrace Fitness Training Center. Embrace Fitness is more than just a gym. We offer personal training, speed and agility training, golf simulator, golf fitness, boot camp classes, child care, and even powerlifting. We're open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We love families, and kids are welcome. At Embrace Fitness, we believe that a family that works out together will stay together and live healthier and happier lives. So embrace the new you. We're located on Airport Boulevard near Cody Road. Try Embrace Fitness Training Center today. Your first visit is on me.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot. And we're back on the Color Outside the Box podcast with your hostess, Princess Miller, and more from Miss Kristi July. Now, before we went to break, you were talking about the importance of leaving that legacy, transferring that generational wealth, teaching our kids about business. And so I just want you to expound on that before we hop back on topic and start talking about balance.
Yeah. So I was saying that our family, I'm sure, is the same for a lot of your listeners. We're doing better than our parents were. And it is our responsibility, I feel, to make sure that we continue that legacy. And the only way to do that is to get our kids involved, and so that they can learn sooner what it means to be independent or a business owner, what those skills are that you need, how to carry yourself, but also how to be financially sound. And that is the way that we can continue that legacy and to grow our generational wealth as a people as well. So that's important to my family, and another reason that we have our kids involved, because these are just life lessons that they can't learn anywhere else.
Also, and it's our responsibility as a parent.
I agree.
So let's hop back on this topic of finding the balance. So we talked about, trying to make sure that you set aside time for each kid individually. I think that is so important. But let's talk about your individual time with your husband.
Yes.
So how often do you guys set aside date night?
We tried the...
I understand. Try. Ultimate word, try.
But that's the thing for me. As long as we're trying, I'm good. And I think he feels the same way. So we have tried to schedule specific nights that cannot be infringed upon and are valuable time. And it worked for a time or two. It's not something that, unfortunately, we can't do consistently, unfortunately. So
with your schedules.
Yeah, it just flows. But what we do make a point to do is to find time every single day. So if that's in the morning while we're getting dressed, we're going to get dressed together. We're going to have some conversations. We're going to talk about how things are going at work, but we're going to talk about what's going on in our social life. What do you like today? What is the big news in your world? Having those moments. Or at night before we go to bed, we're having those conversations. We'll do a little bit of shop talk about the businesses, where we are, where we need to go. But our goal is to just be able to be together in that quiet moment. Now, something we are trying to do more of is, because our kids are young, we always have to get babysitters. And sometimes I try to be cost conscious, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I have to pay a babysitter, do I really want to do it? But I'm trying to give up a little bit more on the money side and say, okay, I'll pay the babysitter so that we can go to that ball, or so that we can go and spend some time with our friends that we wouldn't traditionally do. And not that we don't want to, but I do try to balance leaving my home all the time versus being home and just having those quiet moments with my spouse. And so now we are also doing more of Redbox, and we're doing more of sitting down and watching whatever is on TV together, just for a few moments.
Yes.
And so right now, that has been impactful for us. That has been a balance where we're able to have those small conversations in those moments together, and there's more value in that for us. Now, what will happen next month? I don't know. We may have to revisit, and I think that's the biggest part that sometimes we get so stressed out about, because we think it has to be the same way every single month, and it doesn't. Understand that life flows differently every day, every month, and you have to be willing in your relationship to flow with it. And so understand that even the smallest moments are just as important and impactful as those large moments in time that you're spending together. You have to find value in both of those. And whatever season you're in, whether you're family or business at the time, understand that the big moments may be great. This is where you are, and love them. But don't discredit those times where life is so stressful and you only have that 30 seconds or that minute. It's just as important.
Yes, and I think you said a mouthful. I can remember when my kids were younger, our night was Thursday nights. And so we will make sure the kids were in the bed at 8 o'clock. We'll either do pickup at Ruby Tuesday or some restaurant, and, Red Box, get a movie together, and that was our date night. Man, I remember those times. And then I remember those times when we were able to send the kids with a family member, and we were able to maybe go out to dinner. So, no matter what it is, as long as you guys are connecting, and spending time together, conversating. We conversate on the way to work. I conversate on the way home from work. We conversate during our breaks. We conversate during lunchtime. So, making sure that you have that connection is very important, because, how successful can you be as a business person if your family life suffers? Yeah,
and some people want to focus only on business, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your preference. But for our household, it's not. We want to run our businesses as if they were a family, so we need to be sure that our family is together in order for our businesses to have that same experience. And I think you said it, the more you can talk, just to say, hey, send that text message, what you doing, anything like that. Those are important pieces, and you constantly have to have that kind of communication with your spouse in order for them to feel like you still love and care for them, even in those stressful moments.
And flirting, send flirting texts. I'm flirting emojis
all the time. Yeah, now I don't use the emojis just because I don't want to send the wrong idea sometimes.
Gotcha.
But I do words. I use words. Yes. I'm not all the way there with emojis.
So it's important, people. And so in finding balance in business and teaching your kids, let's go back to that, because sometimes, like I said, we don't see the value in that. And I remember, I don't, quote him all the time, but from time to time I'll listen to Louis Farrakhan. Okay. Because sometimes he'll make some valid points. I know what to throw out and I know what to keep. But one thing that he said the reason why Asian communities have strong communities and strong businesses and strong families is because they realize the connection and keeping everybody together, keeping money together. And one thing that he said that I liked, he said, they will get together and they will move into a house.
Yes.
They'll buy a big house. All of them will move in together. They'll set aside a certain amount of money. They'll open one business. They may get a loan for that business. And the whole family will come and support and work that business. And then once they're able to save enough money, they'll say, okay, we may have $20,000 in the pot. We're going to give this to your cousin to start a business. And so a portion of the family will go and work that business, and everybody will still be putting into the pot, and the cousin will pay back the money that he put into it. And then they may have another $20,000. Hey, we're going to go and this will be your brother's business. And then that's how they all build their wealth. And the next thing you know, they got 7 businesses coming out of this family.
Yep.
And everybody's doing well and driving what they want to drive and living and wearing what they wanted to wear. And we don't see that in our community. And so again, people, I want to stress the importance of supporting Black-owned businesses, supporting family businesses. Get your family involved. Sometimes it's, you know how it is when you have those family members.
Yes, and I've been thinking about that while you were talking. But I think one thing that we also need to stress is that we need to support Black-owned businesses, but as business owners, we also need to do right.
Oh, that was my next point. We need professionalism.
Yes.
Fair pricing.
Yes.
A quality product. It's not, sometimes people don't want to support because they feel like the quality is not there, or they feel like the pricing is too high, or they feel like the professionalism is not there.
Yes.
So I ask that every business owner, no matter where, black, white, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Make sure you're putting forth the best product,
yes,
fair pricing, and the best professionalism or customer service that you can provide. Exactly. Because that's what's going to make the difference. Sometimes if your product is okay, but your professionalism and your customer service is through the roof, your doors will stay beat down.
Yes.
And that's what we have to understand, is that if we can do that, people will come.
Exactly. And if that's not your area of expertise, if you don't necessarily know whether you're professional or know what it takes to offer good customer service or quality product, research it, learn, be a student of those things so that you can invest that into your business, because on the back end it's going to start making you more money. And I think we sometimes forget that we just assume we know everything and people will come just because we build it, and that's not the reality of it. They may come, but they may be one off and on customers because of that quality and professionalism or customer service. So that's one thing that we also try to strive to do, is learn as much as we can about what good customer service looks like, what professionalism looks like, and we also try to engage with other small businesses that are along the same lines as us. And I think that's another way. If your family right now doesn't have the assets in order to grow the way that Louis Farrakhan was saying the Asian community may have it, growing and attaching yourself and partnering with other small businesses that have that same vision can grow it just as well. So that can build our communities to be what we want them to be. And I think we kind of have to stop saying, well, they didn't or they get, and understand that we are in a time where, yes, there may be an advantage for another person for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean that the door can't be open for you.
And we're just about out of time, but I want to bring up this valid point when you talk about, getting together and working with other businesses. I have seen other races work together to get a goal done, and they can't even stand one another.
Correct.
They won't have them at their house. They don't talk over the phone. But if you talk about an opportunity that will bring both parties money, they will act like they're the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, Bob is a great guy. We work together, blah, blah, blah. And so we, in our community, what I have found is if I don't like you, I ain't gonna have nothing to do with you. I don't care how much money we can make. It's, and we have to get beyond that because we're trying to get somewhere. Everybody is trying to get to the next level. Everybody's trying to live their best life. And if we can learn how to cultivate business relationships, and that's aside from whether or not we're, if that's a drinking buddy or a hangout buddy or anything of that sort. If I can respect you enough to work with you, to get a goal done so that everybody can win, that's the level that we have to get to as a society. And guys, that is it for the Color Outside the Box podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday, 7 a.m. Miss Kristi July will be back with us, where we're going to talk about why is entrepreneurship important. Have a blessed week. Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard.